A day ahead of US President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs kicking in, global markets are volatile, with investors bracing for potential trade conflicts and their economic impact. Across the world, investors have seen red. Dalal Street was no different. For a second day, the Nifty is down a massive 354 points. The Sensex also melting, and volatility high, as I said, across the markets. Asian equities rose today, with Japan's Nikkei up by 0.6% and South Korea's Kospi up by 0.9%. The question, of course, is how is all this going to play out? How should India be looking at Donald Trump's tariffs? Joining me now, Chetan Bhutani from Business Today, and also Arun Sharma, Senior Non-Resident Fellow at CSIS in Washington, D.C., joins me. I want to come to you, Arun, first in Washington. What are we expecting? What is the world expecting from Donald Trump? Will his bark be worse than his bite come tomorrow, which he says is going to be the big day when he announces these reciprocal tariffs? Okay, I'm going to go to Chetan Bhutani first. Chetan, how is India seeing this at the moment?
Well, Rajdeep, the markets, as you correctly mentioned, is absolutely spooked with the Liberation Day tariff of the United States coming up. Well, if I talk about the markets, the IT sector especially, very spooked and sharply fell today due to its substantial exposure to the United States. But uncertainty over the Trump tariffs really looms. In fact, if I could talk about something positive, is of course towards a possible rate cut that the MPC could be doing between the April 7 to April 9 is something really the investors and the traders are really watching out for the Indian markets. But also, what really we have to see is the fact that now we have the fourth quarter earnings coming up for the Indian business corporates. Over the past 3 quarters, we saw muted to substantial to flattish kind of earnings from the Indian corporate houses. So that's all being accommodated into the market. Yesterday, in fact, we saw that the Asian markets fell about close to 4%, and today, as we see, Dow Jones is a little bit flattish to up about 60 points up. So clearly, experts are, however, Rajdeep, saying that India is still well poised and to its global competition, and one should of course keep an eye on what's really happening. But what to really watch out for is to the MPC meeting that the RBI is currently holding. But yes, Indian markets poised to be, and of course in a very good condition as of now.
Arun Sharma joining me from Washington. Arun Sharma, are we expecting Trump's bark to be worse than his bite?
This is the uncertainty that we are all struggling with and the markets are struggling with. There has been volatility as Trump has gone and climbed down on a couple of occasions already. And so there is that uncertainty, which is why there is a lot of feeling in the market as to we don't know, and an uncertainty discount is showing in the global markets from all countries, all regions, that is Asia, Europe, even the United States. All markets are down for that precise reason, because all these tariffs have been levied not in one particular schematic or strategic way, but in dribs and drabs, in spurts and in waves. And then there have been climb downs as well. So the market is certainly spooked by it. And the challenge is twofold, Rajdeep. First, there is the risk that people are seeing of an immediate impact on companies, sectors, and then markets. That's the immediate impact of the volatility per se. The second, more deeper concern, and that is what is impacting the asset allocation and therefore the movements in the markets, is whether this uncertainty will lead to deeper macroeconomic negative impacts around consumer sentiment, around capital investment, around the shift in the interest of people to scale up their activities that they were planning to. And that is what is showing in the increase, in the record increase, in fact, in the price of gold, which hit record heights of $32.90 yesterday.
What's your bet? Is Mr. Trump going to go ahead with uniform reciprocal tariffs across the world? Will he give certain countries a relative free pass? Could India be among those countries? Or do you believe he will go after every country at the moment? What's your sense that you're getting?
My sense is actually quite similar to the rest of the market, which is nobody knows. Even in his statements, if you analyze it carefully, he said, well, I will be generous or things will be generous. We really don't know what the term generous means. Does it mean will he give some countries a free pass? Will it mean that certain reciprocity levels will be determined on what he believes and what the administration believes is means by reciprocity? It's all very, very uncertain. So it's very hard to predict. But one thing is sure that we are in for a volatile period and that companies and countries have to be prepared to adjust and adjust rapidly. So a couple of companies already have announced, especially in the auto sector, changes in pricing where they're saying, I'm going to absorb some of the tariff costs and I'm going to only pass some of the cost to my customers. So it is that kind of practical challenge that is spooking the companies and therefore the markets and therefore the investors. And that's what we're going to see for some time.
Okay. I think you put it well. It is an uncertain world in the world of Donald Trump, and we don't know what the next 24 hours will hold. We don't even know whether he will make an announcement formally in the morning, evening, or even midnight. The world waits and sees what Donald Trump does with tariffs tomorrow. I appreciate Arun Sharma and Chetan Bhutani for joining me on that Explainer.